Freeze Mage.
Alright, so Freeze Mage versus Face Hunter. If Ice Barrier is found very early, this is a lot easier for the Mage. If there is no Ice Barrier, however, the story is a bit different. But it is Face Hunter from Reynad. There may be techs, but they're not going to be massive variants, since the deck has been refined a lot over the past few months.
Well, it has. The Emperor is just a big upgrade to the whole deck. It's like
for Freeze Mage, but I mean Face Hunter, I don't think...
Oh, sorry, I didn't understand.
I was speaking of Reynad's deck. I mean, if he's made tweaks, they're not going to be major, I don't think.
Well, we see these staple cards for now.
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe he plays Gladiator's Longbow. You know, 7 mana, 10 damage, that's a Pyroblast.
It doesn't
King
play
Crush.
around Explosive Trap, you know?
Right.
It really doesn't. You die from the Explosive Trap. When
I know.
Longbow. That's
disagree with
infuriating.
Should make a petition, Lothar. Fix that.
Blizzard, please flicks.
Please flicks. Blizzard, please flicks. Alright, so double Abusive Sergeant is played.
Wow, this is so much damage.
Yeah. Incredible. Get in there and fight. But I'm gonna die. Fight anyway.
Put me in your deck, maggot.
You think that works? Do you think that's how they ended up in Face Hunter?
I think so.
Face Hunter was like, what do I put in here? And then he hovered over the card and he just screamed,
no,
put me in your deck, maggot!
He just popped from the other side of the card, you know.
Okay, right, yeah. You were about to add King Crush, and then that card came out instead. And then everybody started running 2 Abusive Sergeants as a result, which I don't blame them for. But
what's fun is that the art of the Abusive Sergeant was used as an item art for World of Warcraft TCG. That was Giant's Girdle.
There's a lot of that stuff in Hearthstone. Like, I have to go through so much art because of Mekator's Workshop. I see all the cards from Hearthstone and where they came from. I should compile the album one day.
Yeah, you should.
It's pretty nice. Well, I would say that Misha was pretty good for Reynad.
Well,
allowed him to protect the second maggot.
Wouldn't be just face? Wouldn't be just Hopper better? And I thought they fixed it. Like Blizzard fixed it that the other creatures from the companion are a bug, and you always get.
Yeah, you always get Huffer. I think they fixed that bug in the recent patch.
404 or Hopper.
Yeah. 404 like face not found, and then you have 404 Huffer not found. What's happening here? I think my Hunter class is glitched.
What?
Well, the Boot Hoarder is gonna die.
Why would you trade for that?
I don't know. Maybe to protect Misha. I wouldn't be too surprised if he traded once, but not with
protect
both.
your creature, I think.
Oh, I think you protect one of them. Maybe not both of them though. But one of them I'm okay with.
I'm not sure about that. I would just go face. Like
You're a real hunter, man. You know your stuff.
Yeah, I know my stuff. I just beat the face of my opponent. With creatures and bows.
With your opponent, you just take the opponent and you smash it all to himself.
Yeah, but that works too. That works too.
That's an alternative win condition. Just take your opponent and smash it into his own face. That seems to work. You know, and then you can spam his emotes on top.
You know how the bow works? Because you see the animation, right? He just takes the bow in his hands, just walks to the opponent and just bashes the head of the opposing hero.
It doesn't say Eaglehorn arrows, right? It's just Eaglehorn bow. Like it's just you just take the bow and you smack the face.
That's how we do
that
it.
Makes a lot of sense.
That's the vibe you have to have with the face hunter. Otherwise, it's no fun at all.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we'll see what he does here with this. He pings the maggot, and then he plays Ice Barrier. You know what? He found 2 Ice Barriers. I want to point that out, because who was it that mentioned that when you get 2 Ice Barriers, the matchup suddenly becomes a lot more manageable, and it's hard to lose even?
True. Well, I would say Freeze Mage is kinda favored in this matchup after Hunters stopped using flares.
Yep. Yeah, once that got cut out, they really improved their matchup, and the Ice Barriers really make a difference. The problem is that RDU has to hardcast them for 3 instead of getting them through Mad Scientist. Well, steady shot.
It's still not a problem. I would say the problem is the fact that he doesn't have Alexstrasza yet.
Yeah, because he will need to either heal with it or kill his opponent eventually. That's not a bad top deck.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you just play Acolyte, Frostbolt, or Frostbolt Ping and play
I
Acolyte
would
later?
say Frostbolt Ping. You don't want to get more damage from that.
No, man.
Golden Vogan.
Wait, Reynad has a fully golden hunter, like, this is, like, full gold.
Oh! He went
like that.
Okay. I wasn't thinking about that, but RDU is better at the freeze mage than me.
That's a great play, though, if I have to be honest.
Ojareli.
So you got two shots. You had, I guess, two ideas with that owl. You either silence your own Misha to hit face for 4, or you silence the Acolyte to deny card draw, which is potentially much better. It's just that this Misha is likely in your head to die very soon.
Yeah, but I think the abusive owl, double abusive owl is better than silence Acolyte.
I silence Acolyte, yeah. In this specific case, since you've seen one Ice Barrier and no block is up, you might want to rush as soon as possible. Well,
it's still so far away from the Alexstrasza, so you're not
overly worried, yeah.
Yeah, overly worried about the fact that you can die. So I would say with 2 charged creatures in your hand, you most likely will play the owl for +4 attack.
I think so too. I think that's what makes the most sense, because it is effectively acting as a 2-mana kill command in this position.
Yeah, oh, and he does it.
Yep, no surprise there, so...
He broke the shield! Oh, knows.
What are you gonna do without a taunt against this aggressive board?
And he didn't play the explosive trap. What?
Because if
Why?
Mad Scientist is played, then Acolyte attacks into it, Mad Scientist pops, gets the secret for free. That's it.
But if you draw quick shot...
I mean, I think it's not worth risking a possible free ice block.
I would say I would still play it, but that's me. I'm the face hunter of, using mana efficiently and just going face with everything.
Alright, so RDU decides to ping the Misha and keep the Acolyte. I thought he would ping his Acolyte and attack with the Acolyte into Misha.
I would play the Ice Barrier this turn. Because
instead of doing anything else.
Yeah. Instead of pinging the Misha, because he had 1 mana over... he had his 1 mana being not spent, right? So he did use that for the hero power. And he has the Frost Nova, so that Misha wasn't really so important, in my opinion. You have to play the Ice Barrier as soon as possible, and now you die to a single kill command hero power with a beast.
Yeah, unless you find Ice Block off the top, but that's it.
Yeah.
You could kill your own Mad Scientist to get the Ice Block out. If you
Alexstrasza.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This is close. If a kill command is found, this is game, right?
Yeah. Well,
Actually,
unless he blobs the ice block, which...
Quick shot would do it. Yeah, it depends on what Reynad thinks the secret is.
No.
Well, he's gonna have to play everything he's got and hope there's no Alex.
Will you keep the Unleash the Hound? I think you have to keep it because you have no beasts and you will draw 1 card.
No, I agree. You have to keep it. Well, now he knows there's no ice block.
And that was a slight misplay by Reynad here. With using the hero power first.
Well, he wanted to use hero power to make sure that if it was ice block, it would leave his opponent as low on health as possible. So I think he was playing for ice block.
Okay, but I was thinking, like, if you play the Leper Gnome anyway, right?
You could kill with... Wait, he could have actually just pinged face and played Leper. But then Alexstrasza would have been a problem. Oh, that would have actually been pretty nice. Yeah, just like a hero power face, a Leper Gnome, and leave it at that. Let the opponent figure his way out of it.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Now it's no reason to play the Leper Gnome, I think. Yeah.
No, not this turn, I don't think. Well, that's gonna be the fastest Alexstrasza I've ever seen, plus a good Ice Lance to make sure the health gets stable. And now RDU is looking at a possible comeback with the Frostbolt and the Pyroblast.
You got 19 with Pyroblast, you still lack the Ice Block. But that's not a big problem, I think.
I think you can Nova, Frostbolt, attack face, then Pyro.
Oh, he even sacrificed 1 point of damage. I didn't like that at all, to be honest.
I think it was weird. Not sure what that accomplished, because it was going to make the trade anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe it's to save the leper.
Well, he would sacrifice for the leper, but then you have 2 beasts instead of 1. And still you dealt 1 point of damage with, you know, with the beast. Instead of the 1 attack of the leper gnome would be sacrificed. And you would push 2 points of damage for the leper gnome, so...
Unless Reynad finds a miracle off the top here, I don't think this... Oh, he finds a quick shot!
Quick shot!
There's an explosive trap set up. Oh, that's not gonna help. Yeah, this is GG, right? Yep, it is GG.
Yep. You attack first with the Foul Nose, so you trigger the freezing trap.
What if it's misdirection?
Then you
you still attack with Talos first anyway, so it doesn't matter.
RDU will not fall for that.
You know, that would be funny though. We saw Hyped recently make a huge misplay in a freezing trap. That was a big problem. Oh, it was, I think, last time I casted with Monk, perhaps, I think, Hyped made a blunder as far as triggering trap orders, and he ended up checking really wrongly. He could have won the game if he checked properly. That lost him the game, as Reynad is going to lose this to Freeze Mage. No Ice Block necessary. Ice Barrier really makes this matchup a lot more bearable. This Ice Barrier was really important. Alright, well, what's the next matchup you think they're gonna go for? Because we have, like, Hunter's been won with for Reynad. He's got Paladin and Druid. So what's the next deck you will go for in this position?
I'm thinking.
I mean, Hunter is already out, so Paladin is good all around. You lose to Rogue, typically speaking.
I think you still
Freeze Mage as well.
I think you still go.
Oh wait, Mage is out. Never mind. Sorry about that. Yeah, Reynad has a Hunter left. Never mind. I mistook whoever.
We always do that. But I think Reynad should stick to the Hunter anyway. I'm not sure about RDU. It doesn't make a difference, I think, which deck you pick.
Yeah. It's still very early anyway. Reynad's going to stick to his Hunter, and RDU's going to go Shaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Unleash the Hound is really pretty strong against Shaman if they overextend at all. And they typically don't have too much healing.
Typically, you would say.
Yeah. I mean, Vitality Totem off of Paladin Shredder's perhaps, but that's about it. If you see that at all, which does happen, you know.
It happened at Seed Story Cup, and actually when you rogue the game because it healed like 16 points of life.
Was it Orange that got that with double Vitality?
No, I think it was Ostkaka.
Ostkaka, alright, yeah. Anyway, there was a bit of totem action going on there. So, I guess Anti-Killbot is still played in Shaman, just not overly so. You'll see a one-of fairly often. What's up?
I just saw the chat being chatted about bow face. I mean.
Oh, the bow to the face? Yeah, that's the way you go. Alright, so it's going to be Face Hunter versus Face Shaman.
Which is favored for the Face Hunter? I would say.
You know what? This is a matchup I'm a little unsure about. I'd venture to say...
What about drawing free weapons?
Yeah, well, that changes everything. The Power Mace is just really good with the Whirling Zap-O-Matic in this matchup. But ultimately, Reynad finds his bow first, and that's going to be a bit of a problem for RDU.
Yeah, that's a big issue.
How to put anything on the board with a hand with 3 weapons. Like, what do you punch? Minions or face?
There's no point in killing... Oh, that's a good draw.
Yeah, follow-up turn is going to be really sick. Two mechs at the same time, one of them is going to get the +2/+2 that you want.
Well, it will get silenced, so this sucks.
Animal Companion. If it's Misha... Oh! Wow, I am so sorry for you, RDU. This is not the beast you wanted to see.
Yeah, definitely.
That didn't quite hit the face.
So you have to drop both creatures now. I would say. Or just Whirling Zap-O-Matic and Hero Power?
So you attack Misha with your face and then you play an Oyotron so it dies?
Oh. This is so much damage. And now it dies to the Misha. Ah, this sucks. Because you use the owl to silence the Nitro.
Yeah. He has
then
to
you
hoot
trade
hoot,
the
I think.
Misha. And you still have 2 points of mana, which can be used on the hero power. Or just play the Worgen, because you have Glaive Zuka next turn and Abusive Surgeon. So even if there will be like a 5 HP minion, you can play Abusive Surgeon.
Yeah, you can still play it. You'd still be
Yeah.
okay with that. Yeah, I think the Sounds play is a really solid one.
I would say so.
Well, do you play the Abusive to be able to, deal with the totems more effectively? I guess so, yes. He doesn't opt for the damage. He's already got a health lead, and it's being incredibly difficult here for RDU to handle this.
I don't think you can win this game anymore.
Well, we might be able to find something, but just Glaive Zuko alone is enough to be a problem, and Animal Companion adds on top of that to be even more problematic.
What about the house? It's a problem too. Oh wow, and Leo is actually relevant here. It allowed
SM
to
work.
it
Yeah, allowed to keep the
trade
1
Vulcan.
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is probably
This
gonna
is a
happen.
nice drop, but you can't drop the Nitron right now. But you have the Elemental, which you wouldn't be able to play it for 2 turns.
I think you have to keep this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh.
Look
4,
at this
6,
damage
8.
output.
This is 2 points of life remaining.
Yeah, he's dead next turn unless he finds some kind of healing, which I don't think he runs in that deck.
I don't think so either. Well,
Well,
it's a mech mage and you can play Healbot.
you can't even... Well,
The
I
Mech
guess you could
Shaman,
attack
sorry.
minion. Alright, so Reynad takes the second game, so he's going to seal the game with his Face Hunter. He lost the first one to Mage. He's going to win the second one against Shaman. So RD will have to replay his Shaman at some point in the future. So Reynad is now actually down to Paladin Druid, which I'm curious to see what he's going to go with. Paladin is typically okay against Shaman, but fairly difficult to play against Rogue, right? Whereas Druid tends to do equally... I mean, if it's a slower Druid with, a lot of taunts... I feel like Rogue has a chance, but against fast Druid, the Druid just can snowball out of control. With the addition of Emperor, it makes everything so much worse.
Well, it can be the Paladin can be an aggro Paladin and just smash everything face. You know?
Reynad would bring that.
Yeah, Savage would bring that, so why Reynad wouldn't bring that, right? It's a Paladin that uses everything to the face. Like, you can even use the other side of the sword and just hit face with it.
Yeah. I'm just curious to see if Reynad is the kind of player who will bring aggro Pally. I don't even think he'd have a problem with it. Like, he'd probably be open to the idea, at the very least.
I would say so. You also, when you play aggro Paladin and your opponent notices it, because you drop a creature turn 1 or turn 2, then he changes the whole lineup. The whole line of plays that he will usually go. He is so worried about Divine Favor being played on like turn 4, right? When you can just draw like 6 cards of 5 for 3 points of mana. It's insane. You have to you have to get those preparations and just go with a huge Advin or use the preps for nothing, basically.
Dump your hand as fast as possible, because if they do get a really good Divine Favor, you're going to fall behind. But the upside to it is that rogues have the tool with, Backstab, SI, Fan of Knives. They're still running it. I've seen a lot of people cut Fans of Knives nowadays. The Blade Flurries are there to deal with a smaller board. And if Hobgoblin's not found, assuming it is a Hobgoblin Pally, then, it's really tough for the Paladin to get a really solid mid-game. He needs to get that stuff in the mid-game to, get a really solid edge on the board. Otherwise, it's going to be problematic.
True.
All right, so we'll have to see. It's going to be RDU Rogue versus Reynad Druid. So this is a matchup that I'm curious to see how it's going to develop. You said it was not favored for the Rogue, unless I'm mistaken?
Well, I would say it's 50-50. People are saying that the Rogue is favored, but I would say it's still 50-50.
All right. That's a I guess, different opinion than I've got. I think Druid, if it's playing fast, generally has a slight edge, but it could come down to like the way people play the decks, really, because each player has a specific play style. Like Rogue typically has a very similar mulligan, but we've seen some players wildly pick at their mulligan wildly differently, even with the same decks. Like Oral Rogue is a deck that I think most people have a very similar mulligan, and then I remember about 5 to 6 players from the entire list of the pros that were playing that deck had a very different approach to mulliganing with that one, so it might come down to play style.
I would keep every single minion I have in my hand against a druid. Like, apart from the 5 drops, but 3 drops and 4 drops are something you want to get, and Deadly Poison and Blade Flurry. But the Blade Flurry is not needed in the opening hand, though. But you need it in the game, that's for sure.
Yeah. Alright, so we see Reynad's hand. It looks like a typical fast druid, with a slight anti-aggro touch with the Zombie Chow. Although I don't even know if I want to say it's an anti-aggro touch, it's really just fairly standard, honestly, at this point.
Interesting. There's a Violet Teacher in RDU's druid.
Backstab SI for RDU. RDU's playing Rogue, by the way. This is Reynad playing Druid. Alright, so backstab the Zombie Chow, remove the board presence, force Reynad to hero power.
That's okay. That's still okay because he didn't have the wild growth, so he's okay with that.
Yeah, in certain circumstances this is a bit annoying, but in this one it's a non-issue. Is he gonna bluff the thinking?
He's gonna bluff the thinking. Wow.
Yeah, that's deep.
Like, you actually need to think in Hearthstone, right?
Yeah, like yeah, exactly, right? Like, what's playing Hearthstone, and how do you think? Yeah, so he's thinking, like, do I bluff him and pretend like I've got wild growth and wait? And now RDU might think, oh, maybe he does have it, but he doesn't.
Sprint is being drawn. That's important when you will draw the prep, but for now it sucks.
The light shall burn you.
Having 2 free mana creatures is really important against Druid because his only answer is Ravs, basically.
Yeah, that or much later on he can actually weave in Keeper of the Grove with hero power, but that's not before turn 6. Alright, so how do you deal with this if you RDU? I think you have to let it live to get a really good Fan of Knives Eviscerate next turn.
I would agree. Next turn you use Fan of Knives Eviscerate.
If no Lothar, but we know there is one.
But next turn is 4 mana for Reynad.
Yep. That's going to be a good play for RDU on the follow-up turn. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, so you just drop Agent, I think? You might keep the second... I think you might the second Farseer.
Okay.
Because you played one already, so the second one is much more important. If you don't play, of course, a Healbot in this deck. Yeah. I don't know the exact list, so it's hard to say which one is better in this situation. If you don't have a Healbot, I would say it's better to play the Agent, because you won't be able to combo the Agent until turn 6.
I think Double Farseer really plays into the Hunter heavy metagame that we've been seeing around the game recently, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually running a Healbot and 2 Farseers as well. Alright, so there is room for him to remove one of the Farseers of the Violet Teacher. No spells to be played, not really here at least. Now the question is whether or not you play the BGH perhaps as a straight up body on the back of this, or Keeper of the Grove.
I think Keeper.
I like both, honestly.
I think Keeper is okay because Rogue doesn't have any weapon buffs yet. We would have seen that already. Like
you've seen one backstab, so I guess you could play BGH. Like, that's the thing, because of the one backstab you saw.
Okay.
Eviscerate SI looks good.
Yeah, that's really great.
Perfect, board clear.
So
achievement unlocked.
Keeping the Agent was crucial here. I would make the mistake. So good to start you here.
And Lothar is going to help a lot in this position, because there's nothing RDU can do besides trading away his minions. If he wants to get rid of it at all. Oh.
Oh, that's a quite a dead turn.
Although, you know what? It's not even that bad, because you just go full face and then
Yes,
you get a
yes,
flurry
you do.
later on.
Yes, you do.
It's bad, but it's, you know, not the worst.
Now it's Toshli time.
What does he
kill-
even say when he comes in? I don't even know.
And you kill one of the creatures, I think.
Do you just set up lethal with a Savage Roar? I don't think you can let those guys
How can
live.
you... What? How can you set up...
No, over the next few turns, you got a Shade, then you have two Savage Roars. I wonder
Okay,
if he
you-
wants to play aggressively or not.
I thought you meant like next turn. I was like, what? How the hell is that even possible? 2 Savage Roars with 2 creatures, 12 points of damage.
RDU is wondering what's happening, and he's got to pin his opponent on some kind of funky combo, innervate, Savage Roar play. But he's not going to fall for it.
No, he just
Found the
goes face
Lothar.
with everything.
Like, he found Lothar. That really gives him peace of mind that he otherwise might not have. And now Reynad has to answer to this board. Swipe is locked. It's manageable though. You got Keeper plus Hero Power to kill everything. You're fine. Oh man, this deadly poison is going to be... Well, deadly.
Well, you...
I was like, where am I going with this? I guess there's only one adjective I'm looking for.
he didn't kill the agent. Interesting.
He doesn't see the lethal coming out because of the lines of play that RDU might have taken, but he's gonna be
RDU
right
was
here in this
going,
position.
RDU was going all face. Why wouldn't you anticipate a Tinkers?
I think the play that he wants to make to win here is to win with double Savage Roar. He's trying to play for the win as opposed to anything else.
Double agent.
So trade and Blade Flurry your dagger away?
I would say so.
Yeah, it keeps you safe, right? And then you can play the second SI.
Well, what about not killing Sylvanas and just going free for face? You have the...
Honestly, I'm okay with that. Like, you just deadly go face, then flurry, even.
You deal 9 points of damage, right?
Yeah.
So he's at 2.
He's playing very safe here. RDU is playing super safe. I think Reynad, like the fact that he went face with that Lothar early on, represents something that RDU has to think is
What was
very,
much
very
better. RDU's play was played much better than what we suspected in this situation.
Well, that was the play that we thought up at first, I think. The Blade Flurry into SI? Yeah. That was the first play that we saw. So I'm curious to see, though, if Reynad's going to just heal up and taunt up his 5-5. He hasn't seen a sap yet.
Mm-hmm. And there's a sprint in Zap. That would be cool.
It's very likely to happen, too. Like, sap being drawn off of sprint is very likely. We haven't seen a single one yet. And Reynad goes for the heal, and he taunts out the 5-5. If no sap is found, this could be a bit annoying. But I think Rogue has more than enough tools in this deck. And
look at
there's
that.
the sap. How convenient.
I think you still sprint.
Yeah, sprint sap seems fine. I mean, you're bound to find the second Eviscerate soon. And then you can, or Tinkers, then you can
And
dagger up deadly
What
Tinkers.
about Violet Teacher, Sap, Weapon Up, Deadly Poison? I think that's better. You force your opponent to play Swipe.
Yeah. And use his face to trade or have double swipe or...
Yeah, that's way better than just sprint. Why is he thinking about that?
I'm ready to learn.
Well, Reynad need to find a second swipe here, right?
Yes, that's his only out, I think. And he's still not in a great position.
I mean, he's got Wrath. I mean, he's got Keep of the Grove with swipe, which helps a bit, but... He's one man off of getting it done.
So if you swipe now, and I actually see the left card. Do you see it?
The leftmost card, yes, Keep of the Grove.
Oh,
That's
Keeper of the Grove, okay.
So I think maybe you just Shade and Hero Power and go face. if you live, because there's only 6 damage on the board, then you're, pretty fine. But RDU is going to be able to sprint here and likely find another bit of damage. He doesn't need much. He need, one of his... He's already seen one of his strays, so there's a second one. A Tinkers would do it,
Tinkers.
and... Well, there it is.
I'm ready to learn.
Bing! And you
Rest
didn't
in
need
peace.
to get the 1 to 3 chance on your minion.
Yeah, just
win the
needed the
game.
buffs on Dagger here instead of the one that was gone with 6-0 last game. So RDU is going to take a second game here over Reynad. So Reynad will be able to reuse his Druid, and RDU is down to 1 deck. I think he's got his Mech Shaman left.
Yes, that's true. I was just looking on the lineups here. So Rogue and Mage are ticked off. Shaman is being left, and Reynad has still his Paladin.
Yeah, Paladin deck. That's not
And
terrible
Druid.
against Shaman, I'd say. So if it comes down to that, it may be the case that Reynad's going to be able to take it with Pally. Mech Shaman's a bit trickier if they do get a good start and you're not able to stop them. But generally speaking, because of the way Consecration operates, you can typically take out all the smaller minions. The problem occurs when Power Mace gives something like a Whirling's Appomatic the ability to attack you for 10, and then you don't have a True Silver to answer it or an Aldor. It can be really painful.
That's awful. That's awful to deal with. But
Yeah.
when you think about the matchup against Druid, it's even worse, I would say.
Yeah, typically, because it plays a bit like Zoo, right? And that's one of the known weaknesses of that specific deck. So we'll have to see. So right now is going to be going for Paladin versus RDU's only remaining deck, Shaman. We'll have to see whether or not the Paladin can take this game. Otherwise, it's going to have to be the Druid, and that is not something Reynad wants to throw himself into necessarily. Players are currently getting ready, so we'll see what kind of Paladin, Reynad brought. We were talking earlier about the different archetypes. There's a mid-range Pally, there's a heavy controlled Pally, there's also the aggro one nowadays, but very few players have been toying around with it.
Well, I would
It's
say
like
he brings
Savage, I
the-
think, right? Only Savage really plays aggro Pally.
Yeah, he does. But I would say Reynad will not bring that, most likely.
Yeah. It's
wants-
it's more of it's really Savage's deck, really, if anything. We haven't seen any other player really embrace that playstyle, although Savage has been doing well with it. It's not something a lot of players have wanted to bring and haven't really practiced much with. Alright, so it looks like a mid-range Pally so far. A very standard mid-range Pally.
Well, there's the Zombie Chow. It's a good one.
RDU finds the Anoyotron. Oh wow, this is a god draw here for Reynad. To deal with a Mech Shaman, it's not gonna get any better.
I think so.
You don't even want to coin out a Noyotron, but you
Yeah,
have
you
to.
need-
This is horrible.
I don't know what do you do here in this situation.
And he's gonna be exasperated when he sees the follow-ups. Reynad's gonna have a huge edge on this early game.
Power Mace. Well, that will be useful, but not now.
Yeah, and now RDU wishes he'd kept the coin for the Power Mace, because that coin on the Anoyotron achieved nothing. Playing this
If you-
Appomatic here does nothing.
So hero power?
I think it's a totem play. What
You
else?
can't play Crackle because you have to play the weapon turn free,
Mhm.
and you have to keep the at least one mech in your hand after you attack twice with the Power Mace. So
RDU's thinking of taking that shield off, and I think that's better than going for the 1 damage to face.
yeah, because then
because
you
your
can kill
Power
both
Mace
with your
will,
Power Mace. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that line of play from RDU. Well, more minions to deal with. So he really needs to find a Lightning Storm soon, I think. I mean, if he even plays one, we haven't seen a Storm so far. I don't
I
think
think
the
we
Shaman's
saw
deck.
one.
Was there?
I'm not sure, but I think there was one.
I know Gara played one useless one against a single minion. Alright, so there
Because
is a Fel Reaver though, and no Aldor Peacekeeper in Reynad's hand.
Peacekeepering Fel Reaver is just hilarious.
Yeah, you win the game right away. RDU, I don't know if he'll be willing to play into that, since it's so risky. I guess Zap-O-Matic plus Crackle isn't too bad.
But it dies so easily. Why not Piloted Shredder?
Now you test for Aldor, perhaps, by doing so. And now if there is an Aldor, you can... If there is one, you can play the Fel Reaver. And see what your opponent does with it.
It's still a really bad situation for RDU.
Yeah, it hasn't improved much, but... It might just... Ooze. That's one of the worst cards, but... It's at least something.
The only worst card is
Captain Sparrow?
Captain Sparrow and Novice Engineer. Wait. You can like get your Novice Engineer like in your hand and play it for the card draw. And with Captain Sparrow you can do nothing most of the time.
Does Reynad find the Aldor? No, he does not.
But the Harrison Jones will be useful with the second Power Mace or Doomhammer.
With Doomhammer, it's going to be an auto win, honestly. If that eats up a Doomhammer, you pretty much win the game right away. So Lothar gets milled, loses Fire Tank, and a Fire Ellie.
Okay, that's still not so bad.
Yeah, those are not like the game-winning cards, but they are still very important. The thing is, RDU can now curve into his Fire Ellie very nicely.
Rock Biter weapon. That's nice, but I don't think you need it this turn. Unless you go for Zap-O-Matic, Crackle, Cogmaster, Rock Biter.
Man, this slime is a 1/8. Wow.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's like a huge wall.
Nice job, Belcher. To say the least. Is Reynad even worried about anything? I mean, he just punched face. You could even... Wait, reversing switch, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's really close to lethal if he goes for the reversing switch on Toshli.
Like one of lethal, right?
Yeah, he
7,
can just
10,
punch
14.
face almost at that point. Unless he's worried about Wind Fury plays, I guess, but...
No one plays Wind Fury in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's worried about that one thing, then sure, but... And you even can mail your opponent quite a bit by doing so. If you see good cards go away, you can feel a bit safer. So do you think... I think he will go all in on this play, to be honest. I think it makes too much sense.
It makes sense because you saw one Neutron and that's the only card in RDU's deck to
Oh, the second
actually,
one is gone too. Yeah.
make him feel safe about it. And Reynad feel unsafe about it. So when he saw the second one being burned, I think you just go face with everything.
Doomhammer's gone, Power Mace is
Mace.
gone,
Okay,
and
so that's
Doctor Balance is gone.
That Harrison makes no sense at all.
If RDU has Wind Fury, though, he wins the game.
I don't think that's likely.
Yeah, but we never know, right? It's
yeah.
like the one card that would change everything, but it is not there, unfortunately. I don't think he's able to wipe this board and live.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way for him to do so. So let's assume he trades the Fire Ellie away into the Toshli. Or crackles the I don't think he will, so he loses the game. Reynad is going to equalize the series 2-2, and now he's going to be down to his Druid versus the Shaman. RDU's probably feeling okay about that. The thing is, if the Druid gets a good Innervate start with the Keeper of the Grove on something like a Whirling Zap-O-Matic, things go very wrong very fast for the Shaman. He needs to have a Shredder on the back end. It's just that Innervate is such a game winner in this matchup if you can establish any type of board to contest totems.
It's like, you know, the staple card of Druids winning games. Innervate.
Yeah. So do you know that good tech card the Druids are playing that, you know, are
The one
played
that
to
adds
counter
2 points of
people?
mana?
Yeah, that one. Really good tech card against every deck ever. So, yeah, very, very strong card in general. But against Shaman, if they play Whirling Zap-O-Matic and you keeper it, it's kind of like keepering a Knife Juggler against Zoo.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's pretty much
the
the
problem
exact
with-
same.
The problem against Zoo is the fact that he can replenish his hand pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a huge deal for the Zoo player to lose a minion for the keeper, but for the Shaman, it's really crucial because your draws will be much more valuable. You have to get much more value from the draws against Druid with the Shaman than with the Warlock.
Right. Warlock is able to get, infinite replenishment for his hand, which I think is why Power Mace is so strong in the Shaman deck, because it allows you to squeeze out more value out of cards that you are playing by default. So it's tacking on removal plus a Power of the Wild.
Exactly.
Mark of the Wild, sorry, on one of your minions whenever necessary. Alright, so... Shaman versus Druid.
Well,
It's gonna be an interesting one.
Reynad didn't keep the Big Game Hunter. What do you think about that? Would you keep the Big Game
BGH is
Hunter?
only... It's useful against Fire Ellie with Flame Tongue.
No,
Oh,
it's
man.
useful against Fell Reavers.
Yeah, he does know that there's Fell Reavers in there. You know what? I don't know why you wouldn't keep them.
Well, if you keep Big Game Hunter, it's only against 2 cards of your opponent's deck, so maybe it's not worth it.
Yeah, maybe it's not worth it for him. So Wrath is found off the top for Reynad, killing the
That's
Necromancer.
really huge.
Yeah, but the thing is, RDU's got a really good Zap-O-Matic, so now that he's seen one Wrath, he's not expecting this one to go anywhere.
What about Savage Roar now? Do you use it?
What do you think your opponent will do with that Zap-O-Matic? Hit you for 6, that's the most.
Yeah,
Then
well,
you
hit
could-
you
you
for
could-
6 sounds good, man.
You mean a 2-drop that hits for 6? Okay, yeah, you're right. I was gonna say play Shade and swipe after, but that's a bit too slow, perhaps. Oh, wow. Yeah, you can't delay that Spider Tank, it's too good.
Yeah, and now Reynad has to swipe it.
This is gonna be a one card for the longest time. And that
Well,
Pilot
that-
Shredder is gonna be annoying. Oh my
Mechanical
goodness.
Yeti.
Look at that next turn. Mech
turn
Warper,
is
Mechanical
insane.
Yeti. Yeah. Into turn 6, Fire Ellie. Look at that curve for RDU. Look at RDU's curves.
Would you drop the Piloted Shredder or the Yeti?
Here, I'd probably play the Shredder first, but
Why?
I don't know, just to make sure the removal doesn't come in handy. If he plays Keeper of the Grove, I can take it away. If he just plays it for a body,
Okay, so
incentivize
Sorry
the
for-
trades.
sorry for interrupting you, but Reynad just attack the face of the Yeti for 1.
Yeah, sets up a swipe. A really,
Second
really
one.
predictable swipe.
So I don't exactly agree with that. You have
Sometimes he does that a lot, by the way. It's a play that he's made countless times. Going for the swipe, like ping face, then set up a swipe.
because it basically means that you will only kill 1 creature. Anyway,
Oh, he's gonna go for Force of Nature here.
Force in Nature, what? And Savage Roar?
He finds the taunt. How much is that worth?
When you use it on a treant, not much.
Yes, it's worth a lot. It's worth a whole lot. Alright, so Fire Elemental is going to get great value here for RDU. He's going to be able to take out the Shade and keep applying pressure. Oh, wow. He
Oh,
finds
wow.
the second one. Reynad's in the world
And
of
next
hurt
turn
at
he
this-
can pair it up with Rogue Biter or the armored part for the whatever drops from the Piloted Shredder. This is great. Well, we'll see the Doctor 7 now.
It's that or swipe Hero Power down the Fire Ellie if you don't want to take too much more, but this is so wonky because it's a play that delays the lethal, but it doesn't guarantee you're going to be able to win at any point
Yeah, I think you have to go with the Doctor Boom.
and hope that your opponent has whiffed on his lethal.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see what he does. There's 10 on board right now, so...
Or you can drop the Emperor with the
Taunt?
Rusty Horn part.
Yeah, taunt up Emperor. It already has taunt, though, by default. Just not in this situation.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Just not right here. Alright, he is gonna go for the Emperor. Is he? No, he's not. He's bluffing us. Reynad, trolling the casters since 2015.
Not a long time.
Since 2014. Reynad, no wait. Reynad trolling the casters since he invented Hearthstone.
So 2013.
Something like that.
And he goes for the boom. So 6, 10, 13, a high... No, it's lethal.
It's lethal, no matter what. It doesn't matter. They're like, no matter what is done
Well,
here
I'm
by
always
Reynad.
thinking that Crackle has minimum 2. I don't know, man.
I don't know, because Lightning Storm does. That's probably the reference you've got. But this is exact lethal for RDU with Rockbiter. Possibly overkill with Crackle, but he won't roll the dice. I was just going to go face right here. Well,
Bam.
Reynad loses that one, and RDU is going to take the series 3-2. This is sort of the outcome we expected.